Hello children, good morning everyone. Today in this lecture I am going to explain you about Mauryan administration. So many numbers are there in Mauryan administration. So whatever the number I will explain there, you note down all those numbers. So watch it and enjoy. Mauryan administration. The Mauryan Empire, beginning with Chandragupta Maurya, was vast with an all India character. Here, what is the meaning of pan Indian character? I am telling you. The word pan means here all, every, or whole. Pan India indicating that this empire, Mauryan Empire, literally covered all of the Indian region, and during that time the Mauryan Empire was one of the largest empire of the world in its time. Why it is called pan Indian character? The Mauryan administration was remarkable for its widespread and multi-purpose achievements by conquering various foreign forces like Seleucus Nicator in northwest India, Nandas in Ganga Basin, and Mysore rulers in the south. After Kalinga War, Ashoka encouraged the development in art, culture, and economy of India. So, it is called pan Indian character. And why it is called pan Indian character? Due to its extension and gravity of realm covering a large part of India. That is why. So children, let us know about the advantage of the pan Indian character. What were the advantages? The advantage of pan Indian character where this pan Indian character mark the end of small states. Secondly, it helped in establishing trade links with foreign countries. Third, it made India strong and helped the Mauryan kings face foreign aggression successfully. And fourth, the era of conquest and wars was over and helped the Mauryan kings to pay more attention to social and economic life of the people. That means it helped the Mauryan kings to pay more attention on the welfare of the people for the economic prosperity. So these are the chief advantages of pan Indian characters. Let us come to the administration. Why is Chandragupta Maurya regarded as the chief architect of the system of administration? Why is Chandragupta Maurya regarded? Here one number you have to make, children. The first number is pan Indian character. Second is why Chandragupta Maurya is known as, because it was Chandragupta Maurya under the guidance of Chanakya laid the foundation of an elaborate system of administration. After Chandragupta, Chandragupta's son Bindusara retained the same system, and thereafter Bindusara's son Ashoka made little changes, some changes necessitated by the change of heart after the Kalinga war. That's why Chandragupta Maurya is regarded as the chief architect of the system of administration, whatever the system of administrations he established, that one followed by the later Mauryan emperors. Ashoka added a fifth province, Kalinga. Ashoka simplified many rigorous practices related to administration regarding taxation and crop correction. He appointed Mahamatras governors to look after the welfare of his subjects. These changes Ashoka did. Otherwise, he also followed almost all system of administrations whatever established by Chanakya. That is
Chandragupta
why
is
Chanakya
regarded as the chief architecture
the
of
chief
Mauryan
architect of
administration.
Let us know about the Mauryan administration. Their administration, they had two main divisions, the central government and the provincial government. One by one, you have to make notes of all these. Central government, central administration. The Mauryan government was centralized. It was headed by the king himself. The king was the supreme authority of Mauryan administrations, and he was helped, assisted by a council of ministers. He was also the supreme judge and commander-in-chief of the army. His throne was hereditary. This is all about the king. About king, one point you have to make, children, in central government. Thereafter, about the council of ministers. The king was assisted by the council of ministers or Mantri Parishad, headed by the prime minister. The council of ministers included, who were those council of ministers? First of all, the chief pujari of the state, Purohita, Senapati, who advised the king on matters related to war and peace, and Sannidhata, the head treasurer, and Samaharta, the taxation expert. These were the council of ministers or Mantri Parishads who were assisting the king in his day-to-day administration. So you have to write one point, second point about the council of ministers, then third point is about all other important officers of central government. The other important officers were accountant general, one in charge of agriculture, superintendent of mines, superintendent of ports, controller of commerce, as well as the superintendent of weights and measures. So this is all about your central government. You have to make a note of central governments. First point, you have to write all about the king. Second point, council of ministers. And third point, other important officers. Understood, children? Okay. Provincial government. There were 4 provinces during the time of Chandragupta Maurya and Bindusara, but during the time of Ashoka he added one more province. That one was Kalinga. So There became 5 provinces during the time of Ashoka. The head of the province was called Kumara or Aryaputra. Only the prince were appointed to this position. During Ashoka's time, the Kumara was assisted by the governor or Mahamatras. Other officers were also taking active part in the administration of the provinces. Those were the Pradeshika, who were collecting taxes, Rajuka, performing the function of modern day Tehsildar or revenue officer, and Yukta, the treasurer in the provincial administration. So this one also you have to make a note. First of all, the head of the province was called Kumara Aryaputra. Only the princes were appointed to this position. And from the time of Ashoka, these Kumara were assisted by the governor. There were other officers who were taking active part in the administration of the provincial administration, provincial government. Those who were Pradeshika, the tax collector, Rajuka, Tehsildar or revenue officer, and Yukta, the treasurer. So this is provincial government. District administration. District administration, nothing is there. Each and every provinces were divided into a number of districts called Janapadas, and this district administration was looked after by officers like Pradeshika, Rajuka, and Yukta. Administration of cities. The head of the city was called Nagaradhyaksha. According to Megasthenes, the administration of Patliputra, the capital city of Mauryan Empire, was looked after by a committee of 30 members. That means under the Nagaradhyaksha there was a committee of 30 members. Revenue system. The land revenue was the chief source of income in the Mauryan Empire. It was 1/6 to 1/4 of produce. During that time, the king was collecting two kind of taxes, namely Bali and Bhaga. Bali was a religious tax, and Bhaga was agricultural tax, levied on agricultural produce, and the cattle at the rate of 1/6. In addition to this, they were collecting also toll tax on articles which were brought for sale. Taxes were levied on liquor shops and gambling houses. Some taxes were collected from forests and mines. And whatever they were collecting, all these revenues, whatever they were collecting, these revenues, they were utilizing for the welfare of the people. Providing various facilities like roads, irrigation, hospitals. When they were meeting the expenses of the states. So this is all about the revenue system. About revenue system also, one number you have to make, children. The spy system. Chandragupta Maurya established a wide network of spies in his empire. There were spies against the spies. And on important matters, more than one agent was asked to collect information. The king was always kept informed of the working of the bureaucracy through these spies. Military administration. Military administration, one more number you have to write. Chandragupta Maurya maintained a huge army consisting of infantry, cavalry, elephant, and chariots. According to Megasthenes, the Aryan army consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 9,000 war elephants, 8,000 chariots, and they were using weapons like bows, arrows, shields, and swords. The king was the commander in chief of the army. The whole army was under a military commission of 30 members. The Mauryas also had a well led recruitment policy. The soldiers were paid salary in cash. The Mauryan king had built forts at strategic places for safety and security of the empire. In military administration, you have to write that their armies consist of how many, what, and thereafter which weapons. Then third point, the king, commander in chief, and the soldiers were paid salary in cash. They had constructed forts at strategic places for their safety and security. This much. Ashoka's Dhamma. So children, let us know what is Dhamma. The Dhamma is a common code of conduct or an ethical order which is not at all a religion or religious systems, but it is a moral law. Dhamma is based on the unifying principles of all major religions of the world. This is Dhamma. What are the principles of Dhamma? The principles of Ashoka's Dhamma are respect for elders and love for children. This Dhamma completely based on ahimsa or non-violence. Believed in good deeds or good karma would give happiness to man in the next birth. Respect all religion and disapprove empty rituals. So these are the 5 principles of Dhamma. Here you have to write a number. What is Ashoka's Dhamma? 1 number. And what are the principles of Dhamma? 2nd number you have to write here. And 3rd number is the impact of Dhamma on Ashoka's imperial policy. What were the impact of Dhamma? The impact was, after following Dhamma, the people followed the emperor's policy of religious tolerance. The people became tolerant towards other religion. Secondly, being influenced by Dhamma, the people started living a moral life based on moral values. There came to an end of crimes in the kingdom. Thefts, crimes and other activities, such activities almost came to an end. And this Ashoka's Dhamma helped officials to undertake public welfare and public work schemes, which resulted in prosperity and helped people to lead a peaceful life. Impact 4 points are here. One line only you have to write. Principles, 5 principles, and what do you mean by Ashoka's Dhamma. So this one you will have to prepare for a structured question. So this is all about your Mauryan Empire. Prepare properly. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me or send me message. Thank you, children. Take care of yourself.